Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the Green Room YXE. YXE? YXE. And
Forgot where you were.
hey,
Forgot where you were for a
I,
second.
I don't know any of the other letters of any of the other
YYZ.
cities. YYZ, I know that's about it.
Y
Yeah, do you know?
YC. YYC's calendar, I think.
Hello,
Hello.
everybody. Welcome to the Green Room YXE. And we're coming to you live from Saskatoon. And today is April 7th. We're into April now, which is awesome. And I'm Leslie,
I'm Johnny.
and this is our 11th show. And
Woo.
yeah, we're live, but some of you might be watching the recorded version. So hello and thank you to everybody who's tuning in and watching us. It's great to have you. And I hope you guys had a great week. Our week was it was good. Today we went outside. We've been inside so much, but today it was beautiful here in Saskatoon. It was like 21 degrees. And we actually went outside and we took our son out to grab lunch out. And then we went to Gabriel Dumont Park to eat our lunch. It was windy today, but we found this special spot where it wasn't windy at all, and it was beautiful overlooking the river, and it was awesome, wasn't it?
It was lovely.
It was great. Also, we did some filming this past week for our upcoming Tucker Lane live streaming show. So we're not going to tell you what we were filming because you're just going to have to check it out and see the live streaming event. And what else did we want to talk about today? Well, because it's warming outside, we're starting to think about getting, I don't know if anybody's done
Oh, I
their,
bet everybody's got it out.
what, everybody's cleaned their backyards already and got all their stuff out and
you're way behind.
I'm way behind. Wait a second here.
Yeah.
No, so we're starting to think about that. No, we're not starting to think about it. You swept, I think. Well, you did the shovel. You shoveled the ice out to break it up and stuff because there's still ice on the ground. Unbelievable. Hey, that's stubborn ice. Anyway, so we're an entertainment show. We talk about music, but sometimes we talk about
Yard work.
Anyway, so music news this week. Some sad news. Paul Humphreys died from Blue Peter.
Singer for Blue Peter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was part of the scene in Toronto kind of before I got there. While you were, it was like their first album, I think was 79, 80 around sort of thing, maybe sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Funny story though. I feel really sad for his family and for Chris Wardman, a friend of ours who was a good friend of Paul. But I was working at Records on Wheels when Blue Peter came to Saskatoon, and they had an in-store at Records on Wheels.
Oh, wow. Hey.
And it was me and Ron and the band. So got to have a chat with those guys.
Oh, that's nice.
And I got to go to the show that night here in Saskatoon. But later on, when I moved to Toronto, Chris Wardman from Blue Peter produced some early Pursuit of Happiness demos. And he produced Loud Factory too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, right. So
yeah.
So there's our connection. But anyways, our condolences. They should have been a bigger band than they were, for sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
But now some good
Great
news,
music.
right?
Yeah, no, some good news is Gene Champagne, who is, if for people that don't know, he's an awesome drummer, and he's a drummer for the Killjoys and also now for Teenage Head. And he was on oxygen because he has COVID, a ventilator, and but he's off the ventilator. So that is amazing. It was just really wonderful to see that news. So we're sending out love and well wishes to him and his family and his wife, and just getting better and better. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot of work ahead for them. And so just all our love and wishes to them. Yeah. So what else is going on is I see here, California okayed indoor sports concerts.
Sports concerts?
So it's indoor it's like a hybrid, sports and music. No, sports and concerts as COVID cases there plunge. And that's kind of like, oh my gosh. And then on the other hand,
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd be going to but they said social distancing, right?
Yeah. Yes, they did. They said social distancing. But on the other hand, they're banning live streaming in Ontario, which that was shocking seeing that, because you think you're doing everything right by doing the live streaming events, and not having an audience and putting it out on the internet, but they're banning them. So I hope that doesn't go any further than Ontario because we have a live streaming event coming up. So, but it was, yeah. Anyway,
Are they banning the broadcasting of or the making of, or?
I don't know. I don't know. On this day, Billie Holiday was born in 1915. And who doesn't love Billie Holiday?
And it's Aunt Lena's birthday today, too.
Is it today?
I believe it's today.
Oh my gosh.
She's 100.
It's Auntie Lena's. This is Johnny's great aunt. No, aunt.
Oh, yeah.
Aunt Lena, who is 100 today. So yeah, that's right. That's we send our love and birthday wishes to Auntie Lena. Who else is born on this day is John Oates from Hall and Oates. Rich Girl, Your Kisses on My List. Man Eater. Isn't it My Kisses on Your Lips? No.
List.
Oh, is it?
List?
I don't know. I get some
kiss,
lyrics wrong. Lips, isn't it? Anyways, and then sad news on this day, this same day last year, John Prine died at 73 from COVID. So I mean, boy, he was a big influence.
Yeah, it seems like forever ago too, right? Like that's a year, and he died from COVID.
Yeah, I know.
Holy.
So let's move forward and on a brighter note, and we're really excited about our guest tonight. She's a Saskatchewan indie artist on the rise across Canada and beyond. She's released 7 singles to country radio. She's released 15. What were you going to say?
7 singles, right.
That's right. She's released 15 official music videos, and way more than that, right? Probably.
I think so, because there's all,
yeah.
We'll have to get her to clarify that.
Yes. She won a Sask Country Music Award for Country Gospel Album of the Year in 2017. And she was a Female Artist of the Year nominee and award show performer at the 2018 Sask Country Music Awards.
She was really good.
We saw her that night. She was awesome. Yeah. She's also released 3 full-length albums to date and has an upcoming album release in 2021 called Be the Change. She's also nominated as Female Artist of the Year for this year's SCMA Award. Please welcome the beautiful and talented Amanda Hagel.
Hey,
Amanda. Uh-oh.
There she is.
She's here.
She's not moving. She's having technical difficulties.
That's okay. She will be with us, I'm sure, really soon. But we're excited to talk to her tonight because, oh my gosh, she's amazing. She's got so much going on.
Yeah, she's always got something. It looks like, there's stuff happening. There's stuff being planned to happen. So,
like even.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think she's had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're going to try again. The beautiful and talented Amanda Hagel.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey, Amanda.
I didn't want to come on right away. I was a little shy. Sorry.
That's right. You just had to wait a bit and just prep yourself.
Yeah.
Oh
my God. My entrance.
So.
How are you guys?
That's right. We're doing good. We're here. We're just excited to delve into everything, Amanda, and just find out more about you. And the first thing that we've seen is just going back, if we're going, back a bit here. So you are like a true farm girl, right? From Lancer,
I
Saskatchewan.
think she's frozen again.
Oh
no. Okay. Well, there's she is from Lancer. That's what it said.
Yeah.
And we'll get you up with that. Ian, put that map of Lancer, Saskatchewan up there.
Did you give him the map?
Yeah, I
of
gave him the
Lancer?
map.
Oh, that's so cool, because I have no idea where that
Ian
is.
figured out how we could use these maps. Right, that little red dot there is where Lancer is.
The below red
Right,
dot.
and we're up here in Saskatoon.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So I wonder, it's like Swift Currents down there.
Yeah.
And there, it looks like there's this kind of parky kind of ridge or something there, and there's just just looks like.
Yeah, let's try bring Amanda back. Okay, 3 times a charm, the beautiful and
oh man. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on at my house tonight, but I apologize.
3 times a charm, right? You're back. You're here.
We'll give her another go here.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't got anything to do. We can be here all night. It's okay. Don't worry about
That's right. We'll get the questions answered eventually.
Yeah, we were just started talking about Lancer, Saskatchewan.
Lancer, Saskatchewan. That's exciting.
Is that?
Yeah. That's where my homestead is. We were about 7 miles from there. I grew up on a farm. Yeah, so we had cattle and farming, grain farming as well. So I'm a country girl. I did a lot of things on the farm, and one of the best parts about being a country girl is you get your hands dirty, and to this day I love digging in the dirt and drinking out of a garden hose and all those fun things. So
right on.
That's awesome. And you start. Yeah. Go ahead. You go ahead.
It looks where Lancer is. It looks like you got that sort of body of water up north there, so you have to go either way to catch a road across the water. Did you feel like you were kind of isolated?
A little, well, kind of. I guess depending on which direction you wanted to take. But yeah, we had ferries to take us across the South Saskatchewan River when we got to a certain point, which that was kind of unique. Not a lot of people can say they rode the ferry on a regular basis, but we did. So. And I believe it's still in operation today. So it's kind of a neat thing, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Prairies, you think it's
what was the crossing? What was the name of the crossing?
Oh, all the Lancer folk are going to be like, really? There were two, and I can't for the life of me remember now.
Maybe someone will answer. Maybe someone will.
About 11:30 at night, you'll be going, oh,
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
totally.
So, sorry, you started playing guitar. We see in your bio at 9 years of age,
yes.
And when all the other 9-year-old kids were asking for toys, you wanted a guitar, and I love that because I can totally relate to that. That's why I think we're kind of, I don't know, sisters from another mister or something going on. But so what kind of made you choose the guitar? Like, what drew you to that instrument in particular? Because you come from this musical family, and I'm sure you had a choice of different instruments. So why was guitar the one?
Well, I gotta admit, it was Santa Claus that made that decision for me. I can't remember if I asked for a guitar or if it just happened. Might have been a little bit of both, but that was my red pill for Santa Claus, because I realized when I read the note that Mom and Santa Claus had the same writing. So. At that point, my little brain went, okay, okay, well, it must have come from Mom and Dad, but we'll say it's Santa. So at that point, I knew. So that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, guitar for me, I guess I had an older brother that played, and I was really excited to learn from him. I think that was one of the things that kind of leaned me towards the guitar. And so he gave me an old school book, which I still have, that had all the pictures of the chords in it, and he wrote some notes for me, and that's how I started. And I just, I played in my room every day, and it just, it was something that I loved to do. I mean, nowadays kids are, doing stuff on their devices. And back then for me, don't want to date myself, but back then for me, it was playing the guitar every day. So it was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. That's true. I think about that even when I think about, our son. It's like they're on their devices a lot, and we didn't have that. So we were just,
No.
tinkering on the guitar, trying to figure stuff out, or Johnny on the bass, or yeah, I know.
Absolutely. And I used to record myself. I'm sure you guys did too. I had the little tape recorder, and so I'm sure I have boxes of those somewhere. I'm sure there's a hit in there somewhere. I just haven't found it. Gotta go
That's
back
right.
and listen.
Did you do the 2 tape recorders?
Yes, that's right. Bouncing. Yeah, I did the 2 tape recorders too. I bounced, like, so you could sing a harmony, right? And
yeah. Oh yeah. Those were the days. Those were the days.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
So your siblings had a band called the Choke Cherry Band. That's what we read, right?
That's a good name. Hey, I just, the Choke Cherry Band. Yeah, actually in the town of Lancer, a lot of small prairie towns have a monument that was built by a local artist in southern Saskatchewan that would build these huge life-size, over life-size, obviously, monuments. And so we actually have a choke cherry in our main street. And so the Choke Cherry Band kind of evolved, I think, from the local towns. And so I looked up to my siblings when I was growing up, because they were like big stars, right? They had an LP, and they had 8 tracks. I mean, with their picture on it, so it was like, wow, a big deal.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. So
cool.
To me, it always felt like, if I could be like them someday, that would be great. And that's a part of my musical journey, was just having really cool role models to look up to and to aspire to be. So they laugh about that now, because you should see their outfits. I should have brought the LP up. I mean, they had some sweet looking dresses and hairdos back then, of course.
Right.
So I've got my own style going on, but other than that.
So it's a choke cherry. That's the really small little one, isn't it?
Yeah, little red guys. Yeah, they're a little more bitter, but choke cherry wine, choke cherry jam.
Cherry jelly, I think my grandma made choke cherry jelly. It's really stinky to make too, isn't it?
I have no idea.
One of those.
Yeah.
One of those. Oh, but choke cherry, it sounds like violent yet sweet.
I know, it's true.
Yeah, well, that's cool. So so that's where you played your first gig, was with the Choke Cherry Band. They
that was the first gig I ever made money, and it was like, if I could do this every day for the rest of my life, right? It's one of those moments as an aspiring, musician or artist, when like, you're giving me money to sing, like, really, this is happening. And so I think I got like $60 that night, and it was a big deal. So it was just one of those moments I'll never forget, because it's the first, right, of something that would become, it's been 20 plus years now, I guess, since I started doing all that. So it's exciting. Yeah, it's amazing how time flies, but it's all these little moments.
And it's amazing too. You'll still do a gig for $60 sometimes.
I know, right?
That's just the way it works out. It's unfortunate.
Exactly.
We'd like to think it's like, we're elevating in terms of income and things, but it does fluctuate for sure. You have to roll with it.
And you got paid the first gig you got paid for was a live performance, and then you thought, well, I could do this, but then it's like that in itself is the struggle of every musician, getting paid all the time.
Man. Yeah. Big time.
So you had some common sense talked into you at some point about getting some schooling.
Well,
someone must have said that something to you.
Don't most musicians get that talk at some point from somebody? Right?
Yeah.
What do you really? Well, that's a nice notion, but
that's what you really want to do that?
Yeah, it's
my
true.
Mom,
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's usually your parents. It's usually parents or a mentor or somebody in the family. And it was good advice. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't, but I was just, I hit the ground running after high school if I'd had a choice. In a sense that, they just wanted me to make sure that I was stable and that I could support myself and everything. And, you know, in retrospect, it was a good piece of advice. It was hard to hear though at the time, because, you know, part of you just wants people to just get behind you and say, yeah, go for it, you know.
You got this.
But they probably didn't want to pay my bills for forever. So I get that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's hard. Like even, you know, hearing our son say that he wants to do music, instantly we think like, okay,
go for it.
You know, go for it.
Yeah.
You know, for sure, go for it.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad thing to have other multiple sources of income, I guess, to help out when things aren't so great for the music. So
so you
you bet.
So is that when you left Lancer and came to Saskatoon? Was that the move that you got to go to school? You came here to Saskatoon?
Yeah, actually, I stopped in Medicine Hat first. So I decided to go into which was at the time was physical education program. So now it's kinesiology, and it kind of transferred halfway through my schooling to kinesiology. So, you know, I was always loved sports, and I loved playing volleyball. So I did that at the college and university level. You know, and music was always intertwined into that. You know, I do a lot of contests on my off time, and you know, sing and write and play for all my teammates. We'd have, you know, parties, and I'd bring my guitar. You know, it was kind of one of those things that music was always a part of that. But I did go on that path for 5 years. I played volleyball and went to school and got a degree, and then I started my career in fitness. So yeah, it was kind of neat. And, you know, I look back on it, and those are some of the most amazing times of my life. You know, I mean, you don't get opportunities like that every day. So, you know, for kids who are kind of thinking they don't want to go that route, well, it isn't for everybody, but there's some experiences that you don't want to pass up on. And being a part of a team, I mean, that was an amazing time in my life for sure, and made a lot of great friends, and to this day we still keep in touch. So yeah, you know, it was cool, and I don't have any regrets for going down that path for that time anyway.
That's awesome, because being on a team is much like, it prepares you for dealing with being in a band.
Right? It kind of does, actually.
You gotta work together with a bunch of the people who all have different ideas about things, and you know, as long as you stick to the plan, you can do it.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it does bring you other things that you can learn to, you know, put towards your music. Like, you know, sometimes, yes, we do go down paths that aren't always music related, but it's still that experience and that journey and what it's going to bring to your life. And it you know, it all ends up coming together. So yeah,
absolutely, it does.
Yeah, sports are awesome. I mean, I came from a single parent family. My mom worked a lot of shift work, and I played hockey as a youth, right? So I had the guys on the team, and I had all the parents from hockey, right? And they'd always come pick me up. A lot of surrogates were happening in my life at that. That was all because of sport. So
there's a community around it for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's true.
So like you said, you played your guitar for their teammates and stuff like that. Did you have any bands through college, or were you pretty focused on your school, or did you?
Yeah, I didn't get into the band scene until after school. I started working in the fitness field, just at fitness clubs in Saskatoon. And so, yeah, during those years, it was more just, you know, I did the contest route. I'm sure a lot of solo artists would probably relate to that. You know, where you just enter everything that comes up. I think one of the years I was in Medicine Hat, I won a local country radio station contest, and I got to go on the radio there, and they gave me all this swag, and, you know, it was cool. It was one of those things that, you know, if I hadn't gone that route and done the contest thing, and again, it's gaining exposure and experience performing. You know, I did a Western Canadian thing at some agro, you know, conference, and I made the finals there, and, you know, so it was kind of neat, because I later on, there were a few contests that I was in where a few of the contestants at the time became mainstream artists, and Paul Brandt was one of them, and there were a couple other Canadian guys that I ended up crossing into the mainstream country scene at some point. So it was kind of neat, you know, looking back, to think that I kind of was part of that. But I wasn't in bands until after university, and then I met a good friend that we got together and we decided to start a band together, and that's how everything began with the band scene. So,
Right,
yeah.
and that was Branded Honey. Is that the band?
Yes, yeah.
Branded
My
Honey,
friend
yeah.
Curtis and I
Yeah.
started a band. We literally had auditions in his garage. That's how it all began. So
That's awesome. But going back to the
yeah,
contest thing, it also gives
yeah,
you confidence. It also gives you builds
absolutely.
confidence, as well as being getting exposure and being able to people
Yeah.
being able to see how you can play and sing. Because I bet you've always been blessed with that really rich voice that you have. So
Well, yeah, somebody told me though that grew up was a part of the community a few years ago. They said, your voice has changed, and I think it was after the Christmas record that I released. I don't know what happens as you age. I'd like to think we age like fine wine. Everything just gets a little better and a little deeper and richer and all that.
That's right.
But
That's
my
right.
voice has changed. I don't know if you found that. You guys have found that in the years that have passed, but I just find my voice has become a lot fuller, a lot deeper, which is good. I've got a different range, and I think singing in the bands for years and just challenging myself with a lot of the cover stuff that we do has been good for my vocals too. So yeah, it's nice to be in this place. I love my voice. I love my range, and I'm glad I'm utilizing now for my own music and writing more and more. So yeah, it's neat though. It's a neat experience, and I mean, being a part of fitness, I understand that vocals, just like muscles, you have to work them in order to develop them. So it's the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. And doing you brought up the point of doing covers. I agree. I think it really helps to explore, like when you're singing other people's music, you can't help but kind of like really listen to their voices and how they phrase things. And I think that you end up kind of, you're right, things do change for your own voice, because you go like, oh my God, like they sing that totally different than how I would sing that. But that's a really cool phrasing. I'd like to explore that a little bit. And so I think it does help to develop a sound that way. Of course,
Yeah.
be inspired
Yes.
by other singers, right?
I agree
And
with
when
you
you're
for
actually
sure.
singing them, then when you're actually learning the songs to sing, you really delve into them, and as opposed to just kind of listening to them and okay, dancing to them or whatever. Learning how to sing them is a totally different thing completely.
Way different.
So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
and the
I
sport
agree.
and the sports probably helps with your breathing, and when you ran, you probably
yeah, no, for sure,
right?
for
So
sure.
breathing is very important to singers. I understand.
It's
Is it
hugely
not?
important, right, Amanda? It is. It's true.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a little bit important.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so Branded Honey came before your 2014 release. Is that what sort of got you going with that? And
we started the first. I think the first year we actually played as a band was 2004 or 5. I think 2004. Curtis and I started playing just as a duo, and then we decided to just kind of evolve things and actually start a band together. My kitty's going to come say hi, so don't mind him.
that's okay.
Or her rather. Yeah, so we started that process, and then it just evolved. We had a bassist and a drummer come in, and we put out a Christmas record called Branded Honey, A Sweet Christmas. That was a pretty cool title, I thought. And after that, we just started playing gigs. I mean, it was just one of those things, weddings and other stuff. And over the years, we evolved and had a sister band called Studio 54 that kind of was an elevated band. It had more players, and we did a lot of 80s and 90s and disco stuff, which for me was so much fun to sing. And I think that's where my vocals really took off, because I was singing songs that, I mean, they had ranges that I was reaching for the ceiling a lot of the time, and it pushed me. And it's so much fun. I mean, if you guys did your deep dive, you'd probably see some pictures of big wigs and crazy costumes. So we had a lot of fun doing that. And we still do. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I know I talked to you in the past at some of our SCMA meetings, and I knew that you did that Studio 54, and I want to say though that I saw a picture of you in a wig and a silky kind of outfit or something like that, or polyester or whatever it would have been. Very time from the time, but it was like you looked so happy, and in all your pictures and all your music, there's a certain element of joy that that comes through, and it's just after for a few days, just sort of listening to your music and watching you sing and watching your videos, it's like there's a real consistency to the happiness and joy, and to the quality, and to the rhythm of your output of material, and that's what is I think separates you from a lot of performers today, is that consistency and that quality. So how far ahead do you think, like, I got this to do here, and I'm thinking about this way down the road that's going to be happening? Do you plan a year in advance, or are you thinking next week?
Yeah, I try to. I mean, I'm maybe not to the day or to the week or to the month, but I mean, ideas, inspirational, elements to my creative process are always percolating. So when those ideas become a reality, is sometimes, there's a definitive plan. I'll know months ahead that, in this block of time in this year, I'm going to release this single and this video. Most of the time, it's about a year out. Like, with the release of my upcoming album, I've already got a plan for, there'll be 3 or 4 more releases with that record. But a lot of the time I just surrender to, this is how I live my life, is just, it's the kind of divine inspiration comes, and I'll get ideas. And then, for me, it's almost like this creative force inside of me just has a life of its own. And it just pushes me, in a positive way. It pushes me. So, I'm actually kind of excited to see what ideas come next, because I know once I release this next record, another project is going to start in my head, and it'll start to formulate. And that's really exciting as a creative, for me to see those things come to life. But I just kind of, I plan as much as I can, but then, we look at what happened last year, and all of our plans just kind of went gone.
Yeah,
So you learn to surrender to things a little bit more, and just enjoy the adventure and the experience and the journey that's happening. And that's kind of how I'm starting to live my life even more now. So, right. But I love the creative process. I love creating art, and, whatever form, whether it be sound or visual and sound, it's become a joy for me. I'm so blessed to be able to do it as consistently as I have been, because I know for a lot of musicians, and you guys can probably attest to that, it becomes difficult sometimes to have, the funding and the backing to be able to put things out, and to be innovative and try to make that happen. And I've just been so fortunate that I've been able to, to be able to put these projects out in a timely manner, like you're saying, with the funds and the availability of the funds that I have. So it's awesome. It's so much fun. I love it.
Right. So that's another thing that I noticed too about sort of the trajectory, or just following your career, is that you did your first record with Bart, and there were Nashville musicians and a lot of really high class Canadian players on that record, and it's a very impressive debut.
It's an awesome debut album,
and then you really just shifted gears, for your second record, and then you did the album, you did the cover project, and it seems like you just kind of, and you put out singles that sort of hint back at your earlier days. And it's like, you kind of just, you got that sort of, you're that kind of artist that just does what you want when you want. I'm feeling this is what I want to do. You don't seem to be ball and chained to what was your first record, or what your Amanda Hagel sound is. And is that you just kind of go with the flow, like you said, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I do. And I think, there's a reflection of my own, imprint on the music. And so, if we're always willing to expand and evolve as people, as humans, a lot of that comes through in my music, I think, and my spiritual journey as well. I'm very transparent about that in the songs that I write and the things that I do. So, it's really exciting for me to I don't know, kind of share that unfolding with people. And I'm really proud of it too, because I think a lot of the times, and again, you guys will attest to this, you're kind of bearing your heart and your soul in your art, and giving that to the world, and it can be very intimidating to do that, and kind of scary sometimes. But the more I take those steps forward and become, more authentic and just giving of myself in that way, the more excited I feel, the more joy I feel, the more upliftment I feel, and it just propels me to the next and to the next. And I think, indirectly, I hope that's a positive influence on other aspiring artists, but just people in general, that, this is what we've come here to do, is to be who we were always meant to be, and to discover that along the way is really exciting. So for me and for the audience. So yeah, I love being creative with sound as well. Working with Bart and then working with Jesse Wyman of Nolita Studios as well. Jesse was able to push me a little bit out of my comfort zone in terms of my country style, and he introduced me to some new styles and sounds that I think are now infused in all of the music I create. So, and that's really exciting because, I'm kind of finding a little bit of a niche yet. This record that's coming out, it's got a lot of different sounds and styles, which I think is going to be nice for the audience and for the people who like my music to listen to. It's going to be exciting to see what they think. But let's not be too fixated on it. I think, and nowadays, I mean, look at what is country music anyways. I don't know. I don't even know. It's so diverse, right? You guys know
it
that.
Is. So. It is. Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. So you worked with Bart, which we had the fortune to have him mix our current album.
Oh, great!
He did an amazing job on that. But so I notice now when you go out and a lot of your live videos, you have a lot of really good local players with you. Like you got Hal Schrank on drums. So is that sort of your main band now? Is Jesse, or is it Matt Facka that's your bass player, or is there someone else?
Yeah, depending on who's available. Yeah, Jesse and Matt both have played for the most part live with me and with the cover bands as well. And then I've got Hal, of course, on board, and Curtis on piano. I've hired different secondary players as well. We had Sonia Reed Noble. She came in and did vocals once for a concert series that I had. Janaea from Jay and Joe. She was a part of our group one season. And so I try to bring in as many local players, as I can. And there's so many great ones. I mean, it's amazing. Pat Throbeck, he's been a friend for a long time. He's a great guitarist. So he's been on this journey with all of us for a lot of years. And, these people are just, they love to play. And, for me, if I can bring them into the mix with my own music and the cover stuff, we're building a community around us that is very strong and very supportive. And that's one of the things that I've appreciated the most about being a musician is when people are on board, they're in it 110%, behind you. And we've got an amazing talent pool in Saskatchewan. Like, wow. And I know it's probably like that everywhere, but I just feel a little biased because I just feel like these players are so good. They're so good.
Yeah. Well, it's true. It's true.
You drew attention to that. Like there's, Leslie always says there's so many strong females in Saskatoon and Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm.
Like
there is
vocalists, songwriters, singers. And,
yeah.
And there are a lot of really seasoned musicians here too, right? So
totally.
We all, you didn't come from here, but being in Saskatchewan, you got like at least 6 months of winter. So you're locked away a lot of time. And all you can do is, shred. And try and learn how to slap.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, Amanda, we got a sponsor, and we're gonna do a little brief ad here for them. So if you we're just gonna take a little sponsor break while Leslie reads this, and then we come back. I just want to get you to clarify some stuff about your gospel record when we come back. So Les is gonna read.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Field Fox Gardens and Cookery. Field Fox Gardens and Cookery is a food preparation and delivery service in Saskatoon. They are 100% gluten-free and organic, and only use quality ingredients found close to home. Field Fox has just launched the pre-selling of lasagna in your choice of 2 sizes. They are proud to partner with Farm 140 to provide grass-fed beef in this carefully prepared classic meal that is delivered frozen for your convenience. In the coming days and weeks, the menu will grow to include fresh salads, condiments, spice blends, and more frozen prepared meals to suit every lifestyle. Their products are soon to be featured at Sask Made Marketplace, which only sells the best local goods. So please visit fieldfox.ca to order your lasagna and sign up for the newsletter to be notified as the menu expands. Definitely order that lasagna. It's organic. It is amazing, and you give yourself a break,
and
you still have amazing food. You don't eat crap.
It's a local business,
and it's local.
So sign up for that email, because that's how they survive.
That's right.
So you won the SCMA award for best gospel album.
Right. Yes.
Right.
2017. I think that was right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that on digital streaming or digital platforms and streaming?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, all the major platforms, I believe. You can find it. Yeah, Listen with Your Heart was the. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I keep calling that the Christmas album.
I know, and I keep saying no, it's the gospel album.
well, it's the hybrid. It's like gospel Christmas, because it is a Christmas record. But yeah, it is a lot more spiritual than the other stuff I put out. So it's both.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You're both right.
It's double mint. Double mint. It's double good.
Oh, there's a kitty cat.
She's not leaving, so we're just gonna have to put her once in a while here.
That's okay. It's awesome. Yeah. She's beautiful, by the way. So
and she knows it. She knows.
So that to me struck me as something like a lot of artists will come out and they'll put out their first record, which yours was a very sort of country rockin', guitars and fiddles and banjos.
So many great fun songs on it. Really enjoyed it, Amanda.
A lot of artists will go, we're gonna put a second coat of paint on that and just build on that. But you were like, no, I'm taking a left turn here and I'm gonna do like a gospel Christmas record as my second record.
Yeah. It was interesting for me to make that choice, but it just felt like, I don't know, I always wanted to put out certain music from, the Christmas season. This, having grown up, I played in church choirs and things like that. So I always had a very close connection to that music and those messages. It is different though, for sure. I know what you're saying. It's a lot different.
It's a brave choice.
Yeah, for sure.
And it worked out for you. So
it did. Yeah. I still get lots of compliments to this day that people look forward to listening to that record every Christmas season. And there's an essence of beauty about it. Even when I listen to it, it's just, I think it was the choice of song. I mean, obviously I wrote the title track, but the rest of the songs were cover songs. Obviously that had been remade by us and the musicians, in the studio. And it turned out so beautiful. I'm very proud of it, because I think it like you said, I kind of abandoned what was expected and just went with my heart and just delivered the best performance on the songs. And the arrangements were just really beautifully put together. Really nice musicianship with piano and violin, lots of violins. So I'm really proud of that record. It's a special one for sure.
And was that with Jesse, or was that with Bart again?
That was with Jesse. Bart actually, he produced the title track, Listen with Your Heart, and then Jesse produced the remaining 7 tracks. So we kind of work as a duo in both studios for all the records, at least the mainstream ones, that one and the first one, and now this last one. As well, I work with both producers for. So I don't know. They just have both. They're both so good in different ways that I like to work with them both if I can. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome, and that they want to continue to work with you is great.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing against you. Nothing against you, but usually it's a lot of button heads in the studio and
sometimes with producers and artists, for sure, you do have that kind of dynamic of like, we want it this way, or no, I don't want it that way. So yeah, for sure, it can go like that sometimes. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that
definitely can.
So you won a gospel album of the year. That's pretty cool. So how many times have you been nominated, including this year?
I think just about every year, with the exception of 1 year. Maybe it was 2018 or 2019 that I wasn't nominated. But yeah, all the subsequent years, for the last, I don't know how many now, I've been nominated for something. So that's kind of nice.
That's awesome. That's pretty spectacular. Like just out of the gate, just like, nope, nominated. So that tells you something.
And it's not something that I obviously pursue directly, but to me it's always a great compliment when your peers are supporting you in that way and giving you the nod. So that that to me is a win in itself, really. Where, you know, for me, I've always been a believer of let's celebrate the art of the year. Let's celebrate a year in music in our local community. So, you know, I wish everybody could just be nominated and get awards, but that's not how it
Yeah,
works,
exactly.
so.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
It's almost what it's turning into.
Yeah, for sure.
Kids getting a trophy for everything.
Right. Yeah.
True enough. And I get that. I get that it's nice that, you know, those that push themselves and do that, like you said, you strive for a little bit more, and you know, we got to work hard. I mean, in order to be able to gain the exposure and establish the career in this industry. So I get that those hats off moments are important too, for sure.
They are, absolutely, because I don't think a lot of people, I don't think the general population really understands that to even maintain a career where you're constantly doing something like you are, the work that has to go into that.
It's a lot.
It is.
Along with everything else that you have to do in a day, in, you know, in this modern world that we live in, where things are supposed to be so much more easier and more convenient.
And it's not.
There's more. There's just way more to do, right? So so once again, your dedication to your craft, it shows in your output of work. So,
well, thanks. I appreciate that coming from you guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, you know, we took some time off to raise our son, but, you know, getting back into it, it's like, wow, there's a lot of stuff. There's more now than there ever was to do. There's just way more things to do, and you have to be, as our good friend and new manager Kevin tells us, is it's consistency, right? You have to be consistent, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
You do that, Amanda, and that's what we're realizing now, is we just got to keep being consistent and being there, and, you know, that's your brand. Is you're there. People can count on you and rely on you, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
for sure.
So then you did. Yeah. So then this is pretty cool, because I remember seeing this when you said you got a summer cover series coming out, and you put out 3 covers, and you did the videos for them, and then you decided, what the heck, let's just do a whole cover album, right?
Yeah. It was.
Is that how that came about? Is that how it just led to that, or?
Yeah. Well, I decided the first year. I mean, when I did it was the summer song series release, and so I chose 3 cover songs that I love to sing live, you know, with the cover bands, and so it was an interesting experiment that almost kind of took on a life of its own, because the videos on social media were so well received. I got so much exposure from them, and people loved listening to the remakes. You know, this different spin on "Don't Stop Believin'" and, you know, songs like that, where it's like, whoa, wait a minute. And so I did that for the subsequent 2 summers after that. So I did 3 total series releases, and after the 3rd summer, I just thought, well, we got to put a 10th song on this, and then just make it a record and do a concert series and all that. So it kind of came together organically. I didn't really have that in my head after the first year, but it was so well received, and I was having so much fun creating the cover remakes, that I just thought, let's do it. Let's just make a whole record out of it. And it's been awesome, because, you know, when you play live shows now, people recognize the songs, but yet it's my spin and it's my rendition. So it's kind of a neat way to put a live show together now, but we've got all that content. So it's cool. It's really cool.
There's a lot of cool versions.
No kidding.
And, you know, like Bowie did Pin-Ups, right?
Yeah,
which is
that's right.
Early on in his career, he did album of covers, and Brian Ferry did an album called Dylan-esque, which was all Bob Dylan covers, which is awesome, by the way, if you get a chance to listen to that.
Yeah, that would be.
But that's cool. I've often thought that it'd be fun to do a covers album, but you did, and it shows your fans too that, you know, oh, she likes more music. Like, there's another connection there that you know, you go deeper on some of those tracks with people that I didn't know that she would do that. Why? Oh, she must really like that song, and it's like kind of neat to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool, you know, now that you know, as you put out more content, like you're saying, you know, you're consistent, people go back and they look at your other songs and stuff. For some reason, the rendition of the Queen of Hearts that I did just is so well received. I mean, I still get comments and people messaging me about that song, and they see the video and they're just like, oh, I love this rendition, you know. So they kind of take on a life of their own, but you're able to capture a new audience that way, I think, with something familiar to them. and then they start to look into who you are as an artist and your own original material. And that's been kind of it's almost been an indirect way for me to market. You know, I don't know, like, you know, it felt like that's what ended up happening, and it's still happening. So, and I just chose to do really good videos for them. I'm really a big believer in visual content. That's why I put out so many music videos. But I just find that, you know, when people can connect to you, when you can't get to them in a live setting, which, you know, I'm not at that point where I can go on the cross Canada or cross North America tour, obviously. So, but I'm working towards that. So, you know, this is a way for me to connect with them and for them to see me perform, you know. So it's been working out good so far.
Yeah, that's cool, because I saw some of the video footage and some of the photos from that era, and it was like you had a big band, and you did a small dates. Would you have done
for the like the concert series? Are you talking
covers for the covers tour? Yeah.
So I've done 3 of those now, I believe, 3 total. So, you know, 3-4 dates at a time, just in you know, Saskatchewan and Southern Alberta we went to as well. I haven't delved too much further yet. You know, just, you know, wanting to, you know, expand obviously your audience over the course of time takes time. But I'm hoping that we can move a little further on moving forward. I'd like to go expand a little further into other provinces, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
That I just want to touch on that too. That's very realistic to say that building your fan base takes time, and just to bring back to that planning session where you're planning down the road things to do, and you always got to be doing it. Any younger artists that are listening or watching or care to take any advice from some seasoned veterans like Amanda and us here, always be doing something. Always have something up your sleeve. Always have something planned, working out, coming in the future. Because if you don't, you're sitting around waiting.
Yeah, rather than doing.
That could be extremely frustrating and almost career killing sometimes.
It can be. You just got to keep doing stuff. You just really do.
And nobody's going to do it for you.
No.
Right?
Oh, that's exactly right.
Right. And
that's, I agree.
It's a very admirable career to see you doing this.
Yeah, no kidding.
Awesome. Well, I know some days I wake up and think, okay, here we go again, you know.
Right.
We're getting back to the grind today.
It's so rewarding to be up there playing in front of people who want to hear music, and you're the person delivering it to them. So all the stuff, all the 90-hour work weeks and all that crap, you know.
Yeah.
It makes it all worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
So
it for sure it does. I mean, the greatest compliments for me always come from those random messages that I get on a Sunday afternoon somewhere, you know, that somebody heard my song on the radio or, you know, through a video platform, and, you know, it touched them in some way, or they just really want to connect with you and say thank you. You know, to me, that's the reward, and that's the reason why I'm doing this. You know, it's my calling. It's what I was called to do. It's what I aspired to do since I was little. So it's and you guys know, I know you know what that feels like. You know, it's the messages, the meaning in the music is really what it's all about. And I just blessed that I get to deliver it. You know, sometimes I feel like when I listen to my own music, you know, I get something out of it, just like if you know, some other person who never heard it before listened to it for the first time, got something out of it. And that to me tells me it's special, and it tells me that it's coming from the right place, because I connect to it. You know, I enjoy it just as much as they do. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah,
cool. So I want to get sort of caught up to current time, but I just want to go back a bit. Ian, there's a picture that we sent you today of Amanda's album called "Listen with Your Heart." That picture, that's a stunning photograph.
That's awesome.
Who took that? Who took that picture?
Hal Schrank was the mastermind behind the fur hat, so I got to give props to Hal. Hal did the graphic design for it, and he had a pro photographer come in and take it for us. So. Just a gorgeous photo. I remember thinking to myself, okay, you want me to go and get what for my head? You want me to get fur hats for my head? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
like what?
So Hal created that idea, but it turned out so great. I love that photo too. It's very I don't know. It speaks a lot of different things, but definitely Christmas as well. Holiday season for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a great photo.
It's
I didn't want to
gorgeous.
let that. Yeah, it's a gorgeous,
Yeah.
gorgeous picture. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's strength in it too.
I just wanted to acknowledge that before we start talking about Angel Lullaby, or what was it?
Because
that was obviously over 160,000 views on YouTube.
On
right?
on Facebook. On Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
Yeah, you bet.
That's pretty substantial. So
no kidding.
You worked with Andrea Morris on that for radio?
Or that was a Nashville PR company, right?
And then the Nashville, you had a Nashville PR company help you with the video?
I did, yeah. So they helped to circulate it through their various platforms and stuff. Facebook just, for some reason, again, I have to just, give it up to the song and the video itself, that it just spreads, because that's what it's meant to do. But yeah, it felt like it was just so well received, and it, when it's shared so many times, that's how those platforms work. When people, share it organically, that's when you get those high views. So I was super proud of the campaign. The whole campaign was just amazing. And the team out of Nashville did a really nice job of just gaining some new exposure in market areas in the US and beyond that I wouldn't have been able to reach otherwise. So I was very happy to expand the team and bring them on board. And so we're going to work together again for this upcoming release.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome, because that, whatever you did, that clicked, right? That really kind of clicked for you. So and which is another thing. Like, do you find sometimes that you got this new song and you got all this excitement and happiness, and you put it out, and you got people hired to do their job, and you got this this is it, and then it just doesn't work out, right? Something happens, and it's maybe someone on the promotion end didn't do their job right, or someone who was working this part of the promotion didn't do it, and it always,
or a pandemic happens.
But for some reason people don't see what goes behind the scenes, and there's always things sometimes go really smoothly and work out great, but sometimes you got that, what the hell's going on, why are you but the song always gets blamed, and it's like, this is a perfectly good song, but
we've heard great, like, amazing stories from different like Jim Rondinelli and who else, and Kevin Kay, of course, these great stories about how some songs are worked for a year. They take some, like, we're always like, what? Because, we put out a song, and, after 8 weeks, we're like, okay, well, it's not catching on. Okay, whatever, let's move on to the next. But, we've heard tons of stories from these guys that have worked in labels and worked with artists for many, many, many years. And some of the stories they tell us are like, what? You worked that song for a year, and they're like, yep, we worked that song for a year, and all the things they had to do to get it to connect, because they believed in it, or an album. We worked that album for a year, and it was like, wow, to believe in it that much, to just go like, no, there's something here. It's just not the right time. Maybe there's something here. Like, that's pretty amazing. and you're right. Like, people don't see kind of all of that and just think like, oh, sometimes it's just magic what happens. And yes, sometimes it is. But sometimes there are songs that have been put out at a time. Well, a really good example. Am I going on and on?
No, keep talking.
Well, a really good example would be someone like a Nick Drake with Pink Moon, who really struggled that's just a heartbreaking story to me, who struggled his whole life as an artist, and couldn't make something, just couldn't, happen. There was the connection that didn't happen. And then he, I don't want to, get too kind of down, but he ends up ending his life because he's had enough with the heartbreak. And then how many years later was that? 20 years later, some ad agency guy goes like, Pink Moon, we're going to use this in a car commercial, and it ends up connecting. And it's a beautiful song. Why it didn't connect then, I have no one would know. No, if you listen to Pink Moon, there's no way you could figure out why did that song not do well when he was alive. No one would be
Right.
able to come up with that answer
Right.
because it's a
Yeah.
beautiful song. Now everybody knows how amazing Nick Drake is, and the song is beautiful, and all his music is beautiful, but it didn't happen then. We don't know why, but
Right.
you know,
And
it's
it was a great song, right?
oh my gosh,
It was like
That's
yeah.
that's
it was a
interesting.
Volkswagen, it was a Volkswagen commercial. Yeah.
yeah.
It's really interesting to think that, you know, and I've always considered music to be like, it's timeless, right? So, you know, in that sense, it had its moment, and, you know, it was bigger than him. It was more grand and bigger and more important, I think, in that moment for him to have, you know, maybe not experienced it in the physical, but I'm
Yeah.
sure, you know, I'm a big believer that he experienced it elsewhere.
Yes, I
Right?
agree. I
That's
do
awesome.
too.
Yeah.
That is awesome, Amanda. to
Okay.
say
Yeah.
that.
So we talked about the Angel Lullaby there, and but I want to come back now to 2019 when you put out Her Own Drum, because that to me,
Yeah.
after absorbing everything Amanda Hagel for the last few days, I kind of feel that is the perfect summation of you, of your music, and of how you want to help women and people.
It's a
in
great
general.
song,
Yeah.
Amanda. It
The
is.
video,
Oh, thank
I
you.
heard the song, and then I saw the video, and I was like, wow, this really that was Nolita Studios too, right?
Yes.
That did
Yeah.
that video. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Jesse and Andrea really connected the visual with the message in the song, and it was really like, when I saw the video, I was like, yeah, okay, this brought it all together. So, and you started your own little interview series with that, right?
Yeah, I did. You know, that was one of those moments where, you know, you come up with these ideas in the middle of the night, it wakes you up and you're like, I have to do this, right? That inspirational video series was just me wanting to kind of connect, you know, real-time messages to the message of the song, and, you know, find inspirational women in my own little circle that I think would be able to relay the message of the song. And it was such a beautiful series that came together. And, you know, again, I only get so much feedback from people in terms of their response and how they connected to it. But overall, I just felt like, you know, there was an energy behind the whole project, from the song and the video to this inspirational series, that just, it took on a life of its own. And I think it definitely defined me in a sense that, you know, I am literally marching to the beat of my own drum, but I'm also following a higher guidance that allows me to be able to navigate things fairly efficiently, and you know, be expressive, and like I said before, be really authentic. So that song and Angel Lullaby are going to be on this new record that's coming out. So that's cool too. So people will get to experience it in the album as well. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And the new album is called Be the Change.
Be the light.
Be the
Be the
light.
light.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
You
I
bet.
thought it was Be the
That's
Change.
okay. Well, there's only been a few little snippets of it in terms of, yeah, it's coming. So
Yeah,
so that's
I
okay.
don't know where I don't know where I caught that, but I got it wrong, and I'm sorry. So called Be the
Well,
Light.
Be the
Be
light.
the
yeah.
light. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's
bet.
very Amanda.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
it feel like it? Yeah, we
Yes.
just
Yeah.
filmed the music
Yes.
video for it last Wednesday at the Broadway Theater, actually, and
Okay, right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
it's
Cool.
going to be pretty exciting to share this video. I think, I don't know. Again, you guys know, creating content, out of all the projects you do, there's always memorable ones, but this one just felt really memorable for me in terms of just the experience of putting it together. And it was just me on the stage. It wasn't any other props other than amazing lights that we had created with the PR company in town. So I really feel like this will be like almost like a raw experience for people when they see the performance and the delivery, because it's me basically just speaking this message to the world on stage.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm really looking forward to sharing it. I'm getting so excited now because I put everything on hold last year, and so I had to have been very patient this last year, waiting for the right time. And really, is there ever a right time? I don't know. You just have to go with it. So
yeah. Well, someone told us once, there's no good time to release a bad song and no bad time to release a good song. So
that's a good piece of advice. I like that.
What are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
But so what's the title of the video?
So it's the title track, which is "Be the Light."
Be the
So
Light.
that's the name of the song. That's the song that'll go out as kind of the canvas for the whole album release. It's going to just be the poster for it. And again, I feel like at this time in history, somebody said that to me. The Nashville people actually. We've been kind of back and forth with everything, and the fella that I'm working with said, at this time, it's almost like this song. He heard the song and he said, "This is such an amazing, uplifting song." He said, "I think it's the right time in the world that this kind of music needs to be out there." And I'm like, "Yeah, I agree. I think that's why it was delayed, and that's why it's now." So I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
We can't wait to see it and hear it. Like, oh my gosh.
Everything happens for a reason. That's what you always say, right? So,
yeah.
It does.
Okay, so
absolutely.
when are you releasing the album? Is it going to be physical copies? Is it just a digital release, or?
I'm planning for some hard copies, some CD and some vinyl. So I haven't done vinyl before, but I think it's there's a little niche market for that, and I've always wanted to have a record. Even for myself, I think it's cool. So that'll be early May. So May the 10th is going to be the release to radio, and everything else is going to tie in around that date in terms of the full launch. We also actually have a documentary on the making of this whole album that we're going to pre-release prior to the big launch of the record. Wow. So we started filming that in late 2018, 2019. We started doing filming for it every session. We had everybody interviewed on it who played on the record. I haven't seen it yet, but Andrea of Nolita Studios keeps saying, "You are gonna love the documentary. It's so awesome." So wow. So we're gonna do a YouTube live for that. We'll do a YouTube live for that. We'll get everybody to tune in, and they can get a little behind the scenes look at the record and all the songs. I do a formal interview as well and talk about everything. So again, talk about timing. We can't really, be with each other in a physical way, but we decided to do this project just kind of thinking it would be neat. And now it's like we're in a virtual world. So what better content than a documentary?
Yeah, for sure.
Things work out,
And yet again, there's another example of this started in 2018 for something that was going to happen in the future, and so always be what would that be? Always be what?
Doing stuff.
Yeah.
Always be doing stuff.
Just doing stuff. It all works out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so now we just gotta touch.
We've kept you so long.
Yeah, we just gotta quickly touch on this fitness.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So I do want to bring up that you are on top of everything else. Like, oh my gosh, that you're a certified personal trainer specialist, as well as a personal training course instructor. And you've been doing it for what, like 11 years, or is that outdated? Like, is it more than 11 years?
Yeah, it's a few more. That was an older photo, but yeah, I've been at it for, gosh, I hate to say it, I think it's been close to 20 years now. So
wow.
I started when I was pretty young, right out of school. So yeah, I've loved that part of my life in terms of just the balance between health and wellness, and then my music. So it's almost like you create a life around your passion. And I mean, I tried to embrace that from an early age, that I would only pursue things that I truly loved and that brought me joy. And when you do that, and that becomes the energy or the intention behind what you're doing, everything else just falls into place, in terms of having the right amount of hours and the right income and all the things that have come together for me. But I think that foundational intention is really important. So, people build their careers sometimes around decisions because of, status or money or whatever. I've never been like that. I've been the opposite. I do what I love, and everything else falls into place. So fitness is a wonderful, job, and what I get back from it. I mean, so people that I get to work with on a daily basis are amazing people. And I'm lucky. I'm lucky I get to do it, and it gives me a lot of freedom and independence to work music into the equation as well throughout the week.
Yeah,
and
no kidding.
And I stay in decent shape, so there's that.
Well, I was going to say, you're taking care of your temple, and you're helping other people to take care of their temples. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah. So I want to ask you though, because there was something was it in the bio? I can't remember, but it was about you talked about you believing in visualization technique. And I thought, oh, that sounds cool because I love stuff like that. Can you explain it a little bit? Give me a little bit of what the visualization technique is?
Well, that kind of started for me, primarily it was when I played volleyball at the university and college levels. And we had a sports psychologist come in and they do visualizations with our team. And so we would actually visualize playing, and we would visualize, an execution of a play or whatever. And we'd kind of get into this zone where we almost imagine or determine the outcome to things. And so I kind of carried that, that knowledge and that experience with me into my life. So often if I'm dreaming up an idea, I mean, I literally will see it from the beginning to the end, and it will come to fruition in my head.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. I think a lot of sports teams do that. So
I'm visualizing the day when you get this right.
Ow. Anyhow, did we lose Amanda?
Is she gone?
Oh, I guess
she checked out.
She checked. Yeah. Well, we were going to wrap up, and I'm glad I got the visualization question answered. But we were going to ask her what's coming up. But
well, she kind of told us what's coming. Here she comes.
Okay, yay!
I'm back.
Okay.
It was my cat. It was my cat. It was my cat.
Yeah, my dog ate my homework. Well, Amanda.
Yeah, no, I think I had that. I think. Did I finish what I was saying? I guess I pretty much.
So yeah, I think so. I was gonna probably babble on about something, which was I was talking about sports teams and how I know I've read that sports teams do that, and they've taken different teams with the visualization, and they've done they've done one team that would shoot baskets, and then they test the one team, and then they'd have another team that would just practice in their mind shooting baskets, and they found that they were very similar because it's all mind stuff, right? Like that's kind of what rules, So anyways, that's what I was going to say. But,
so we were going to, before we go, yes, thank you for that. That was
great. Okay. So what were you going to say before we
go? Is there anything, I mean, we talked about your new record and your new video coming out. Is there anything else you got going that you want to tell people to be on the lookout for?
I have a new online store actually that just kind of got launched quietly behind the scenes. I hadn't had much for online purchases for merchandise, but I do have that. It's up and running now. So there'll be some new content with the release of the record. I'm hoping to have a little bit more clothing merch and some other things for the Be the Light project. I love having logos, and I don't like necessarily my name being splashed. I know this is horrible PR and I probably shouldn't say that, but I love the messages. So I've got a Listen With Your Heart hoodie, and I'll have a Be the Light hoodie and some other things. I like to get the message out there and content for apparel. So that will be happening. And yeah, so you can go to my website and check that out ahead of time. I've got some stuff on there now. So yeah.
Well, awesome. Cool. I like your logo.
Yeah, your logo is awesome.
And it's been like, there's just so much chatter in the world that goes on, and it's been a real pleasure digging a little bit deeper into your music and into your career, and actually, instead of just hearing something and going, "Oh, that's Amanda," going, "Oh, that's Amanda." So it was really
it's a deeper connection.
Yeah, it was really nice experiencing your music and just feeling the joy. It really translates through your music. So. Thank you for coming on. And
yes, thank you so guys. Much. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate all the nice compliments and the fact that you attribute me to joy, and that comes through. That's amazing. I appreciate you saying that. I'm glad that's happening.
Oh, cool. Well, that's good because it is happening. And,
good.
Did we say nice things?
You did.
We just said the truth.
Right.
We didn't say nice things. We just said the truth.
Right. So, so I don't know, hopefully, when this record comes out and things are buzzing for you and you're busy, and maybe we can get you back on sometime and talk some more, because it seems like this conversation could go on for a long time.
Absolutely.
And I hope that other people,
the journey continues.
I hope
yes.
that people other than us find it interesting. So.
Yes, of course they will.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys. It was a pleasure to chat. It's amazing how fast an hour goes. Hey,
I know, right?
I know.
It does, right? It flies by.
Oh, thank you so much for your time and just coming on here with us. It was really special.
Yeah, we hope to see you out there. Maybe we'll share a stage together one day.
Yeah. I would love that. Let's make that happen. Let's make that happen.
Sure. Yeah, you bet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Amanda.
Bye. Cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
She's a treat. Hey?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she is.
We got to catch up on all these. There's lots of comments today. I'm sorry, people. We're not ignoring you.
Yes. Hi, Jared. Jared said hi. Oh, and David.
Yeah. 1 second, David. I always go DT because I don't know how to say his last name. Is it David Tosher?
Tosher.
Please do a phonetic spelling for us, David, so we can correctly identify you. Not that we have a problem identifying you, but you know what I mean.
And Peggy.
Peggy said, hi, guys. Ian said, hi, Peggy.
And Dave Marcoux said hi.
Jared.
Oh, and Ian.
Dave Marcoux.
Ian Lawn said hi.
Ian Lawn said
hi. Ian.
He said hi
we
to
don't
Peggy.
know if they're... Oh, hi.
He said hi to Peggy.
That's right.
Say hi to us.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
We say hi to Peggy, too.
Warren, great interview. Amanda is an extremely positive person. Love the cat.
I know.
All right.
We should have found out the name of her cat.
She said their names. No, did she?
Did she? I don't think so.
She called it
Anyhow,
he, and then she said
no
she.
No one's watching anymore
cats.
because now
right, because Amanda's gone, so
and
no
you're
one's
just
watching.
like,
I'm looking at the roof trying to think about cats.
Okay, so we just want to say we usually talk about what's going on around the city, or we would now talk about what's going on in the city, but things are really, really quiet, but there's a few things here and there. So just go on to your club website and that'll let you know what's happening. And we just want to thank Amanda for coming on the Green Room YXE. We had an awesome time speaking with her and just getting to know her, like you said, on that deeper level. And
time really did fly.
It did fly. And we want to thank our sponsor, Field Fox Gardens and Cookery. Order that lasagna at fieldfox.ca. And please subscribe and follow No YXE on YouTube and on Facebook. No YXE is a great local online channel and it has tons of great shows. And I'm going to talk to you about them right now. First of all, YXE Sports Podcast is on Mondays at 6. And then Let's Chat is on Tuesday at 11 a.m. And I squinted there when I was trying to read the screen. That was not a good look, I bet. And then Sports Line is Thursday at noon. Got 2 sports shows now. It's awesome. And then In Focus YXE.
That's kind of competition. That's sport. They're competing.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Are they competing?
I don't know. Anyway, okay, Sports Line Thursday at noon, and then In Focus YXE Thursdays at 7 p.m. Is it Thursday? Returns April 8th, but still at 7 p.m. And then Slow TV YXE is Sunday at 10
kind of what this is right now.
Yes, it is. So if you're an artist and you have something coming up that you want to talk about, then just send us an email at thegreenroomyxe@noyxe.com and we'll have a chat about it. Get it on here. And just shameless self-promotion, our new album is out there. Thanks, Ian, for reminding me. It's called Random Fireworks on a Beach Obscured by Trees. And you can just check it out. It's Tucker Lane, our band, out on all streaming and digital platforms. And thanks. I never say thank you to Ian and to Deborah. We love them. And thanks, you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
And
thanks, No YXE.
And that's it for this week.
No, let's plug our live streaming event too.
We have a live streaming event coming up on April 24th. And so check that out. It's Tucker Lane live streaming. We're live at the Long Branch. It's going to be an awesome show, and tickets are only $10, and the portion of the proceeds are going to go to the Unison Benevolent Fund, and they support musicians with counseling and with funding, especially in these really, really tough times where the entertainment industry is completely shut down. So
and we want to give as much as possible to Unison Benevolent Fund because they really do.
Yeah, they are amazing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, buy your tickets. Buy your tickets. $10, great show, and you're given to a great cause. So that's it. I hope you guys have a great week. See you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central CDT.
Central Daylight
Time. Okay. Have a great week. Bye, guys.
We are a little
rock
drinky.
on. Rock.
We are a little.
Are we? Oh, yeah.